Ta-da! We are here. All right. You know what? I'm here with our good friend Michael, aka Heroic Waffles, and I think what it was. I'm running a little late, as you can see. I think what it was, I think of waffles, and I just put my ass to sleep because breakfast is, that's now. Now I do got one question for you because I was going to ask this for you, but have you heard the new thing that's going on called spaghetti pancakes or,
Spaghetti pan. I've never heard of that.
or pancake spaghetti? I don't know which way to call it. It's it's literally pancakes. I have to see how they make it exactly, but what they do is they literally it's a pancake just like spaghetti. It's all pasted out. Because they how with spaghetti you make it out of pasta. You put it out, you put it on there, and you roll it out. Then you flap it, whatever, and then you run it through the machine to make it into spaghetti.
Yep.
Well, I think someone's found a process for pancakes, and so
Interesting.
so
Waffles are
you
my
know you
no
know
no. So
if they got it for pancakes, damn well Skippy, it's gonna be coming for waffles here pretty soon.
yes, dude. Waffles are the number one breakfast. That is the breakfast of champions. That is the breakfast that everyone should have on their plate in the mornings.
And it'll make you heroic. Hey
That's
Casey, how are you, Mr. Dan and Horror? All right, all right. Uh, yeah. So yeah, that's what happened. My ass. I was I had some dinner, and then I did a couple of errands, and then I came up here. I said, okay, I got a couple of minutes. I'll lay down, and the next thing I know, I feel this thump on my chest. It's the cheetah. I look up and see it's dark out there. I'm going, oh my god. So I grabbed my phone, looked at it, and said, you have 2 minutes to showtime. I'm going, oh, I'm
that's all
going,
right.
I'm going. Thank God it's with a friend, and like
All good. No problem at all, Patrick.
yeah, because considering how anal I was about times and everything, I just got it. And I thing is, I got an email before I fell asleep. I got an email from I had set a request in for a guest, and uh, I sent the request in, and then I was told, to go through channels, which is fine. That's what I expect.
Yep.
So I go through channels and I say, hey, I like to, I write to this person. I say, hey, I like to, I want to know if I can get your client on the show. I don't hear from her for weeks.
Hmm.
So I go ahead and I resend it, and then I get the other person saying, "Hey, thanks for writing me. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, let's do that." Then I'll hear from 'em for a month. For a
Hmm.
month. So
Hmm.
I forgot. It's out of sight, out of mind. And then I got an email today saying, "Hey, yeah, so my client, she's up to doing a show. Can we get her on the 17th?" And I'm just uh, like I was very nice. I was very nice because sometimes these PR people, sometimes if they're new, they can get overwhelmed. And so what I did was I just said, I don't have anything for this. I don't have anything for that week. I said I had dates open a month ago when we talked. I had that date open,
Yep.
but I, I I can't wait. That's the thing is like if I want to keep the show running, rolling along, I give whoever it is, whatever guest it is,
Yep.
like
Yep.
I can go ahead and offer you a date, and then but I can't. I got to give it I got to give it like a week or so, and then I got to keep move on. I got to fill it,
That's right.
and because these shows the show that I do, it was just like companies almost. It's like companies. They 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 um they have their sales planned out. It's not just suddenly they're going to just suddenly do it. They're going to take their time and organize it and get ready for it, and then they'll put it out there. It's the same
Yep.
thing with a show like this. Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hey, Katie, what's up? Dan, what's going on?
It was Katie had her anniversary this week for her
Yeah.
channel,
Yeah. I
and
popped in there to say hi and hello and congrats. So that's awesome. Yeah, definitely for sure. Yeah. You know what's weird is when I had the channel up before and I put it on, you can actually hide it for a while. So I put it down for a while and I went to put it back and all my videos were gone. So I kind of had to almost restart it. So if you're subscribed to me, you probably have to redo it again, just to let you guys know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because that was confusing to me because um, when all of a sudden, I started, because I knew that you had running two channels, and one channel is your main channel, and
Yeah.
so I would think that that's the one you run the most. So I didn't, I knew that he had restarted, and then all of a sudden he came back, and you're like, okay, it sent me a video to something to invite to one of your videos. I went over there and I looked, and there's
One video.
yeah, one video. There were 24 subscribers. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute. No. He did not. How did he? He did it
Yeah.
again. He restarted his channel. And I was like, oh boy. And now I'm sure this Waffles has an explanation for this because your first channel that I met you on, in fact, the channel you had when you were on here last, you had over 700 people.
Yeah, no, I was doing fairly well. And then, as you know, I have another channel that started to really pick up traction. And I started to focus a little bit more on that. But then I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to put Waffles channel on hold for a little bit. So you can actually, on YouTube, you can actually hide the channel and then make it public again. So I said, okay, let me do that and let me focus. I said, all right, I'm ready. I got all my stuff back. I went to put it on public. I'm like, all right, public. And then my picture was gone and the video. I'm like, wait. So I actually had to redo it, which absolutely sucked. And then I was like, oh my God, I need to post videos as soon as possible. But hey, it is what it is. There were a couple more issues, Patrick. Hey, you know that I told you offline about but it is what it is. I am back for sure, 100%, not going anywhere. So just glad to be back, to be honest.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back.
Yeah.
I just always think that you get, I always know that you're around, but sometimes I think that you're operating your other channel. So, sometimes I think that, I know that that's your priority at the time. So I just think, well, he'll come back to the movie one when he's ready,
Yeah.
and come back, and so that's okay.
Yeah. I was planning on doing a couple more things. Like I had a couple of collab videos I wanted to do with a couple people, kind of fell through. Then I got busy, as you know. I play baseball too, Patrick. So I was busy with that. I had so many things going on, but actually things settled down now. So I'm back into movies again. Believe it or not, like if you don't know, Arrow Video is having a Shocktober sale, better than Screen Factories. Believe it or not, I think the movies are like $9 a piece, which is fantastic. So if you're looking.
What Kino Lorber, right?
No, Arrow Video just put out a Shocktober sale. I think today. And
Well, I might have, if they're selling only for $9, I actually might have to go pay a visit today.
let me tell you, Patrick. Let me tell you, hold on. Let me tell you, this is all the movies, and I write down because here's the biggest thing, and this is a lot of problems that collectors have, is that they see a movie and they buy it, right? And they buy this edition and that edition. Sometimes they double buy or triple buy things, and you can't keep track. So what I do, I write down everything that I buy. And what you see right here is titled Arrow, Scream, eBay. And this stuff, what you see right here is I'm expecting in. I don't have this yet. It's coming in.
Well, I'm really glad because there were some circumstances, and this has happened to other collectors, and this is something we could talk about a little bit too. Because
sure,
now once in a while, and I think this, I think this might be happening more than I realize, because this is one thing too. You and I sometimes we'll talk about, though sometimes we look at it at the glass differently. But it seems like I see you're not the only collector that you had to basically sell most of your collection because you were doing some home repairs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you had to restart. Like I know the first time I saw this was was Tony, Horror and Taj, and he had to sell like 95% of his collection because his family needed a new car.
Mm.
And he says, I'm I was really heartbroken for it. I was like, wow, like, but that's the nature of the beast, right? When you're a film collector, I know a lot of collectors that they'll spend a pretty coin,
Yeah.
for the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
look, things take a priority, right? Things
yeah,
take a priority, and unfortunately, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. And I did. Like, hey, I'll be honest, I had a lot of problems with my basement here. On this side of the room, I was having flooding every time it would rain, like hardcore. I would have tons of flooding. I had to get French drains put in. I had to get new floors put in. I had to get the rest of the ceiling that it leaked through in and done. I mean, you're talking about altogether, all in, like $16,000.
yeah.
I don't have $16,000 laying around. So I took priority and said, you know what, this has to go. I mean, has to go. So sold 98% of it. I got around the amount to fix a lot of things, which is great. And then, but hey, it is what it is, and unfortunately, that's what I had to do. So
Now, one of the strengths that you and I both have, and this is something there's a couple other channels out there that have the same drive like us, is that we love a bargain, don't we?
I love bargains
Love a deal.
any way I can get them, and I'm jealous of some of the deals that you get when you go to the library. So I have to throw that out to you. I'm very jealous. Hey, sometimes when I see you getting these deals, and I'm like, why can I not go to that library and get those deals?
Oh,
But bargains is the way to go, especially nowadays. Bargains. I mean, I have a budget, Patrick. Like what I do is I have a budget per month of what I want to spend on any movies. I have, my priorities, bills, taxes, or whatever I got to do, right? And then I have a set aside money for my hobby, which is collecting movies. I love it. I will not budge from my budget. If it's something that's over, I'll just wait till I find it. And as you know, I'll wait years before it drops.
yes.
So,
That's that's the thing. It's like that, isn't that something? Because it's true. It's like I think there's a mentality, especially since I've been watching this on YouTube. There's a mentality of when something new comes out, you got to get it. You got to get it. It's like some of the boutique buys just leave me like cold. Like,
oh, there's times where I look at the prices. I'm like, $49 for a movie? Are you kidding me?
yeah.
I'm like,
Who was it? Vinegar Syndrome released Roadhouse for $40. They called it a sale, and they're selling it for $40. I'm going, anybody with a pulse could have bought a basic copy of Roadhouse on DVD for $1.25.
I was
I
very
mean,
shocked when I saw those. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some things that I'll pay a little bit more. But the reason a lot of times people go after the movies when they first come out or when it first purchases because of the slipcovers. There's people that are into slipcovers. They want the slipcovers, and you only get them when you really buy when it first comes out. Because if you buy it later on, and this happens with Screen Factory, later on, if I was to buy some of the Screen Factory stuff that came out 2 years ago, you ain't getting a slipcover. So people are really into that slipcover phase. I love it too, to be honest. But I just can't see myself paying $40 for like a Roadhouse. You know what I mean? So
no. And the slipcover thing, I didn't know that was a phenomenon until our mutual friend Dan from Rejects Films. He was the first person I know that was like in the slipcover. It was like because him and I used to go to the same video store, the video chain, and then and his store wasn't as good as mine as far as getting movies in, so he didn't go up there as much as I did. But he went up there, and he had forged a relationship with the store that when he'd go in there, he'd be able to get slipcovers. And from that's the first time I ever heard anybody like actually like slipcovers. I was thinking to myself, like, I mean, I if I had a slipcover, I kept it. But if I didn't have it, I didn't really care, because
yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy too. You go on there, you see people selling the slipcovers for like double the price of the movie, just the slipcover, and I'm like, it's crazy. I mean, look, to each his own. If you like to be honest, I try to collect it with the slipcover. It's something about it, something about the artwork. Again, my budget keeps me level, and and I can't go outside my lines. So if it's something that's outside my lines, I will wait. And if I miss out on the slipcover, I miss out. It's unfortunately it's the way it has to be. So
Now, since you talked last, and you re-jumped your collection, it's like it seems it seems to be getting a little worse for the physical media collector as far as as far as new releases go. There is a channel out there that puts out a what's coming up for release, and they'll put out there what's coming up on the US. And before it used to be like 6 or 7 minutes. Now it's like down to like 4 minutes, maybe 4.5. And I'm like, okay, it's
yeah,
and that's the thing with the library too. It's like right now people are donating, but I'll tell you how weird it is. Like if you watch some of my videos, you'll hear me complaining about the library. I'm sitting here, I'm just complaining about it because it's like, okay, when I used to go to the library, I'm used to seeing full shelves, chock full of library stuff, going to get library movies and what have you. And I was figuring out because it was doing less and less. And I'm like, I'm bitching about it because I'm like, okay, are the volunteers, do they get their crack at library stuff and before we do? Or is that the reason why we're not seeing as much? And it's like, I don't mind them getting a movie or something like that, because they were volunteering, they should get something. But why do they have to grab everything? And then I'm finding out that it's not the library. I'm sitting there, Michael. I'm sitting there looking at the physical media section of the library. I'm staring at it, and it hits me like what I'm seeing less. I mean,
yeah,
it looks. I mean, when you walk in, if you at first glance, it's packed. You go like, wow, this is so cool. But where we wait to go inside the bookstore, you can sit and look at it at the backside of the rental area, and all
it,
of a sudden you realize on the shelves everything used to be like this, like spine to spine, it'd be just like this.
yep,
Now I started to notice that it's like this, it's leaning like
yeah,
this because they're weaning through, and it finally came on to me like they're not buying as many copies.
yeah, and
Library, yeah.
a lot of stuff is streaming now. A lot of stuff is streaming on Netflix. A lot of stuff is streaming on Peacock. I mean, there's Hulu. I mean, there's everything out there streaming. So a lot of the people aren't buying as much, but which is kind of good for us in a way because uh in a way sometimes you'll find deals like that because people will buy it streaming and get rid of their physical media instead, which helps us when they either sell it somewhere else, like if they donate it or they sell it on eBay or something.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that's I'm just because one of my fun things to do is I like to go to we always look forward to the bag sale, so I take a bag and go down there, and sometimes I do really really well, and I mentioned that, and this is probably the same thing for you too, is like if you do go out to you don't go out to any more brick and mortar stores for hunting, do you?
You
Do you
know,
still
my
do you go to Best Buy still, or Target,
I used to go
or
to Target.
Walmart?
And Walmart doesn't have anything anymore. They started to get a lot of figures in, which is pretty interesting, but
Yeah.
don't really want those. But then Target lost a lot of their shelving. If you look, they're not even halfway filled anymore. Best Buy is the same thing. It's very scarce. I mean, sometimes if it's a Best Buy exclusive, I'll take a trip. If not, I mean, to each his own. But I don't. It's really not. I really don't go out to stores anymore. Believe it or not, I have a lot of success at yard sales. A lot of success at yard sales. I mean, we have a lot of yard sales here. They usually end around November because it gets cold out here in the Northeast. So, I mean, you go to yard sales, you could pick up 5, 6, 7 Blu-rays for like $5. I mean, it depends on what it is. But yard sales is my go-to.
I might actually. I was almost tempted to go out there this year to shop that way, but I always the reason I the reason I guess I don't go out that way is because I just don't see people having having the stuff like that I'm looking for. I
That's
don't see
what you think.
anybody.
That's what you think till you go and you find it. I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, I'm not going to find what I want. And then, you go through a couple yard sales. I mean, you might not find anything. I mean, I found a Freddy doll from like 1991, brand new in a box. I mean, like huge one. Got it for $10, and on eBay it's going for like 100. So it's stuff like that. And movie wise, I mean, there's times where I haven't found 4Ks yet. I'll be honest. Blu-rays and horror. I mean, this one yard sale, just went to it, had more baby clothes out. I'm like, all of a sudden, a little section, all horror movies. I was like, are you kidding me? And the guy was like, 50 cents per Blu-ray. I said, what? No way. And I picked up, I don't know, like 20.
Yeah, I think that's what now most people when they go to yard sales, that's all I would expect to pay. Honestly, if I went to a yard sale and I didn't get it for 50 cents or a dollar at the most or 50 cents, I wouldn't do it. I just
Yeah.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just the yard sales I've been to, or the only time I don't negotiate, there is one place I never negotiate. I just pay what they ask for. It's up to me if I want to spend the money or not. But I never negotiate for, and that's at estate sales.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't-
I mean, I used to go to estate sales and I haven't been in a while, but like I said, yard sales are my go-to, and then of course eBay. Believe it or not, the marketplace sometimes you can score a deal. It all depends, but I mean you got to find all your options. I mean I go everywhere where I can find where I think there's possibly a good deal. I mean also Facebook groups, you can really get some really good deals through there also. So try to join some of the groups that are into horror movies and into movies, you can sometimes score a really good deal there too.
Yeah, I've actually bought through. I've actually bought through through groups on Facebook.
Yep.
I've had a good experience, but it's because I'm very selective though. Because I go in there and I type in. Well, you already know what I type. Or I type in anybody collect any ISC midnight film.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
gotten through that way.
No, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
and then I'll sit there and say, yeah, sit there and say, yeah, because someone will be doing a sale, whatnot. Says, can you go ahead and type up what you got and then send me a picture, and and
Yeah.
a lot of times they'll type up and the ones I already have.
Yeah.
So I'll sit there and say, okay, thank you, but but that's the nature of the game, right?
That's
Um,
part of the fun though of collecting
oh,
is trying to find what you can, and the way you do it, and when you finally get a score, it's like oh my god, the world has halted. It's like hell yeah, yes, I finally found it. Had a couple of those too, which was fantastic. Found some really hard stuff I've been trying to find for a long time, and then of course after I find it, like 6 months later, it comes out on 4K or something. So I'm like, what the hell?
what
But
what what do you think drives that for collectors to what they call double dip, and why do they buy so many retro titles?
yeah, I mean, I can't speak for a lot of the collectors, but for me, I double dip on things that either say it's the Blu-ray and 4K, say one has special editions that the other one does not. It has to be a bunch, but if it's the same thing, except, I mean, for me, I upgraded. So I upgraded everything to 4K, 4K TV, 4K player, 4K everything. So I could play Blu-rays on them on the region free player, but I double dip to upgrade everything to 4K. I don't know what other collectors do, but for me, I'll double dip either for special features or I'm upgrading to 4K for a better quality.
God, special features that I hope that's one aspect that never goes away. I really
Oh, I
do
love it.
appreciate that. That's really what I look for when I get a movie. I like
Sometimes the special features are better than the movie.
ain't that the truth?
Yep.
You're not fooling.
Yep.
I watched one movie I reviewed yesterday. and I'm sitting there going like, "God, I wish they would have had a commentary for this. I wish they would have had but the movie was god awful. It was so god awful. And in fact, it was so bad that it didn't get released for 10 years. It sat on somebody's shelf for 10 years before it
Jeez.
got released. And it was a star packed movie, but it was just way too ambitious for its own good, and
Yeah.
it collapsed under its own weight, and that happens once in a while. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I just find people buying movies. I'm going like, man, like the Roadhouse, for example. I'm just thinking to myself, going like, wow, a lot of these folks they've already had the copy of that, in their collection. If they're a serious collector, that movie's been in their collection for a while, and
Yep.
it's been underneath there as a Blu-ray. You
Yep.
know, but yet here it is, $40. Hey
I could
Dan,
I couldn't believe that. What's up, Dan? I couldn't believe that when I saw Roadhouse for $40. I was like, what? But there's also those vinegar syndrome, followers and people that are really loyal that will buy it. They will buy. I mean, look, I'll be honest. They're doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. It looks amazing. The slipcover looks amazing. I mean, for them to get that title is fantastic. Yes, I did spend a little bit more than I wanted, but I had to have that title. Definitely.
yeah,
So,
well, how much did you pay for it?
if I'm not mistaken, it was in the 30s. It's in the
Oh,
30s.
but it's been out for so long. If you type in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 DVD or Blu-ray, I'm sure it
Oh,
pops up.
Arrow has it. I mean, pretty much everybody has it. Arrow has it. Screen Factory had it. Vinegar Syndrome has it. But yeah, I mean, again, to each his own. But like, I just can't. I mean, there's some things I just can't. The Roadhouse thing, I was shocked that when you told me and I looked it up, I said, "Oh my god, I don't believe it." I was like, "What?" But yeah, it's crazy. But I did. You were talking about IFC. I did purchase my first IFC film the other day, and I made sure I had it delivered here just before we had this call.
Man, check that out. Waffles went big, BIG, because I'm always giving you shit. I'm always
Yes.
giving you shit. I'm like, how is it you go out there and spend $40 on a 40-year-old movie, and then it's like you have Screen Factory's done this, and Screen Factory's done that, and hey Waffles, Screen Factory does releases IFC films too.
Yeah.
Oh, uh,
Yeah.
so so you finally got one.
I
What did you get?
I picked up Room 237. This is the documentary about Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, right? It kind of gives you a documentary about it. There's
Okay.
special editions in here. 11 deleted scenes, which is awesome. Trailers and everything. But yeah, and you can see right in the corner, there it is. IFC. IFC.
Wow. See now it's funny because see when me and Dan when we first met, that was our jam. We would sit there and talk about like you talk about slipcovers, and I'd be sitting there and talking about IFC films. So he was I say, did you go to the family video? Rest in peace.
Yep.
Sorely missed. Believe me, so missed.
Yep.
Um, so we would talk about our, because he would sit there and say, like I said, his store wasn't as active as mine. So he'd go out there for the slipcovers, but I'd be sitting there talking IFC movies with them, and then and then yeah, I think he has a few. He doesn't have a lot, but I know he has a few. Actually, he'll probably have more now than he does back when he first started. I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm sure Dan has a whole shelf full of IFC stuff now.
I'm sure
Um,
he does. I'm sure he does.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah.
But
ISC films come out with slipcovers on them.
they do. This one actually has not even a slipcover. It's like a little box, which is pretty cool. It's a little box it comes in with the keyhole, which I think is fantastic.
It's
Uh,
cool.
so I'm checking this out this weekend, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on this. But
I'm sure you'll enjoy it. The documentaries they do, they're top notch. I got a few of those documentaries.
yeah, there's another and I'm not sure if you know this. There's another company that just came out. They're like 6 months old, if I'm not mistaken. I saw somebody talk about them. They're called Visual Vengeance. I don't know if you heard
Oh,
about.
yes, that's the Wild Eye imprint.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I picked up a title from them. I mean, it's probably the most obscure movie I probably ever seen or going to see, but it's called Suburban Sasquatch.
Good Lord.
And exactly, but packed with special features, which I'm down for that. But they
Who
have some
directed
crazy
that?
titles. They have some crazy titles. Crazy titles. So I'm gonna check them out. I know they have I think they're only like 6 months old and they already put out like 8 titles, which is really cool. So
I'm putting Dan on the spot. I'm asking Dan how many IFC films he has now. Uh, I'm sure he's going to come back there and say, "Yeah, I got like 100," because because Dan rolls like that. Uh, uh, it's funny. I'll tell you what's funny too. Before we go back to Visual Vengeance, so obviously, one of the big, the one of the big horror movies of the year people have been talking about was X. But yeah, see, Dan says about 100. Yeah, see, you got to follow Dan more. Dan's got his finger right on the pulse. Um, uh, so yeah, the Visual Vengeance. So the other label that the other studio we like to talk about too, and this is funny as hell for me anyway. We always talk about A24. Like I know Dan's a big A24 fan too. In fact, we and then there's a Blu-ray, and then there's Blu-ray Dan, who actually has turned into more of a. I think he's gone from basically being a collector. It seems like. I think he's more into animal rescue now these days. Which is that's the case. That's awesome.
yeah,
Um,
wait, you're talking about Blu-ray Dan?
yeah,
I
Dan,
actually
Dan,
just talked to yeah, I just actually talked to him last week actually. Uh he's doing well. He's doing well. I didn't get into about the animal rescue because believe it or not, I didn't know he was doing that. Um, but he did move a lot of his content over to TikTok. He told me. So
okay,
yeah, so so he's been doing that. He says, which is pretty interesting.
yeah. But he loved A20. He's the biggest A24 fan I know.
Mhm.
And of course, our buddy Dan, he's right behind there. He likes A24 too. And I'm all, that's in the battle for A24 and IFC. So,
Yep.
when you laugh, it's like, people were coming out watching X, this year, and where it's, oh my God, it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm going like, you know what? Come on, really? It's not. It's. And then I got a copy sent to me by a friend, um, who sent me. He was disturbed by the movie. He
Mm,
was disturbed not by the violence of the movie, but by the premise, the sexuality of it.
mhm.
It clashed with this. It clashed with him. So, but he sent me a copy of it, and I watched it, and it was a see. Oh, look at this. See, look at the A24. Not as good as they used to be. You know what? I'm gonna say I'm with you on that, Dan, because you know what? I've been going through my collection waffles, and I actually have 28 films of theirs.
Mm,
I
mm.
have I have 28. I know I'm missing another 3 or 4, but he's right. The earlier A24 films that I got and I watched early on, man, they seem to be so much. I mean, they were just maybe it's because they were so underground. They were just no one. A lot of people, their experience with A24 started with The Witch.
Mm.
That's where they started. That's their love affair, and then of course then you had Hereditary and Midsommar and The Lighthouse, and then you go on. But I think for the majority of most of the collectors, it started with The Witch.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, you're talking about companies that are underground. I think Dan even said, well, Mr. Dan was saying, yeah, the Visual Vengeance titles pretty cool looking. No, they are they really look really cool. But Blu-ray, Blue Underground is another company that they don't put out a lot of movies, but when they do, they really put a lot of effort into them. So I like them a lot actually. So if you get a chance, check out Blue Underground. They're really good company, really awesome. I mean, their 4K transfers are fantastic.
Greetings, Mayhem. How are you? Glad you're here. Enjoyed your live earlier today. Uh, uh, Nice lady up in Canada. She's fiery as hell.
Nice.
Yeah, she definitely is outspoken, and she's fun.
Hey, Mayhem.
I will be I will go be putting your links on out too for our guest for Waffles here. So if you
Cool.
haven't signed up to them, I'll put them out. I'll put it out there. Go ahead and actually, if you would, Michael, go ahead and say something in the chat so people can so I can click on your icon and so I can because you're still relatively new. It's hard to find your channel. That's the thing. What happens when you restart? When you're underneath 100 and you look for your channel, it's hard to find, even with your unique name. Um,
Yeah.
Mr. Dan Hoare is mentioning he just got some Blue Underground titles. They had a sale. Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
understand the Vinegar Syndrome. I couldn't understand. Well, like I thought they said it was a sale because I'm seeing all these prices and I'm going like, Jesus Christ. I mean, the Roadhouse was $40. Normally they're asking 60 for it, and I'm just thinking like, who in their right mind is going to spend $60 on damn Roadhouse?
Somebody out there will.
I guess so.
Somebody out.
Let's see. I should be able to find you now, right?
I mean, yeah, I can't post the link. I don't think.
You know what? I can fix that. Let's do this. This will be easier. There we go. I'm gonna add you as a mod. Then you can go grab your channel and drop it.
Cool. Yeah,
Easy.
I mean, yeah,
Easy.
I mean, yeah, there's so many like Dan said, Blue Underground did have a sale, dude. They're tell you a very underrated company, very underrated. Yeah, I think their pricing, some of it's a little high, but they also have a lot of sales too. So you got to look out for those sales. That's for damn sure. And when they
And
do, it's
uh,
worth.
what's the best way for people? Because a lot of times you see a company like the Vinegar Syndrome or Synapse or Severin or what have you, they'll have a sale. But what's the best way for a bargain hunter to get around that and get those same titles even cheaper? Is it just all about just sitting back and waiting for them
Waiting,
to drop? Yeah.
waiting. A lot of times people will sell them without the slipcover, so that's a big discount on that too. Uh, I mean, for me, it's waiting. I mean, I can't buy, and Dan just said it now. He just said that, it's not like he gets a package from Vinegar Syndrome. Like think they do every month, they have something. I can't do that. Like I can't afford that. So I'll wait for certain titles to drop, or Black Friday is a huge thing too. I mean, Black Friday, I wait for a lot of my stuff on Black Friday, which usually if you place an order on Black Friday with any company, you probably ain't getting it till January because
Right.
I've seen it before. I've done it where I purchased stuff from Screen Factory and Black Friday, and I didn't get it till like the end of December. So
I think Dan actually posted out. He posted. I think it was Dan or he posted something about he got a package from Vinegar Syndrome, not Vinegar by Severin.
yep.
Somebody did that. Someone got it, and I asked him. I said, "Did you order that? Did you order that from? Is that from Black Friday?" And and they said, "No. I know that I got it. I got it like I think they said like last month or a month before, but I was being facetious because Severn has like the worst delivery ever.
Oh,
I wonder, are they still as bad as they always were? I mean, it's when you order a title, does it still take a half a year for you to get it?
well, I'll be honest. I placed an order with them the end of August, and I have yet to get it.
Oh, I just don't can't believe that. That's just absolutely drives me nuts.
Yep. So,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is what it is. I mean, you know what? And again, and that's why I kind of keep track of everything, right? Because the last thing I want to do is buy something, not come for like a month, and then like, oh, okay, I don't have that, so I got to go get it. I have to keep track. If you don't keep track, you're gonna double buy stuff, triple buy stuff.
That's absolutely that's just yeah, it was Dan that mentioned it because I saw him posted up there from Severn, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So did you get it from last year?
Freaking crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, the
they're the worst company though when it comes down to customer satisfaction, aren't they? Or is
to
Screen
me,
Factory catching up with them?
Screen Factory's been excuse my language, been fucking up lately. They've been really I don't know. And Dan knows what I went through. It's a bunch of stuff that was supposed to come. It sat in processing for like a month and a half, and I'm like, dude, what is going on? People were putting. It was the movie Red Dawn, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie a lot. And people were getting it from Screen Factory, making videos, and mine sitting in processing. I was like, what is going on here? And then I had a back and forth with them, and then it finally arrived. I think it was like 4 weeks after. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow, that's that would really suck. It would, as far as the collector goes, that's really maddening. But I think what really would suck is if that was like for a present for somebody.
Exactly.
That would really, Harry, I'm buying it out a month out from the birth date.
Yep.
Your shipping says we'll be there in 2 weeks, and then a month later, do you ever just call up and sit there and say, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cancel my order, so go ahead and put it back on my credit card?
They don't even have a call-in number. You have to email them. There's no call-in number. You have to yeah, Dan even said Dan got his Red Dawn at Best Buy, going to Best Buy before I got mine from Screen Factory when it was a Screen Factory title. Made no sense. It absolutely sucked. But yeah, they did redeem themselves. I mean, I did place a couple orders that came quicker than was supposed to. I placed an order for their Shocktober sale, which is, believe it or not, I placed it, and I kid you not, on the 1st of this month. It is the 13th, and it still says processing, so I'm getting a little bit, frustrated. Like, dude, 2 weeks?
But why? So why do collectors go back for that kind of bad service, do you think?
Why? Well, number one, because we're suckers.
Yeah, it's brutally honest.
Yeah.
That you're honest. I mean, yeah, okay.
Number two is because some of the titles no other company has them, like, or that, if you're a Screen Factory hit collector like I am, you want to get pretty much the majority. I only get horror. I'm a horror guy, maybe a couple stragglers like Red Dawn and stuff like that. But I'm typically horror. So anything horror that comes from them, I try to collect it. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, the bottom line is I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for going back, and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah. Visual Vengeance, like I said, it's the imprint of Wild Eye, and we know that's how me and Dan actually met. We actually met through a Wild Eye. That was really cool. But I know that's the imprint Rob has started, and he's been going ahead and releasing a lot of early obscure titles. I have not checked it out. I have not. But what are their releases like, and how much are they running? For a collector, are they charging boutique label prices, or are they charging fair prices?
Wait, who's charging that?
Wild Eye for their.
Believe it or not, no, they were pretty cheap. They weren't expensive. They weren't that bad. $17, which ain't bad. A boutique, you're paying like. For Screen Factory, it's like $34. Hey, if you want a poster with it, if not, it's like $27. So, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, like they got some crazy titles, but I mean, it's not bad. I mean, look, hey, let's be honest, probably half the shit's gonna suck, but I do like those obscure movies and just watching them. I don't know. To me, I like a movie, like a horror movie, when it's really bad. Not to the point where I fall asleep or like can't watch it, where it's actually funny. I'll actually watch that because I like that. But yeah, Dan, and I want to say Night Fright Talk Show. How you doing? Dan actually put a video out which was pretty interesting. I think it was Dan. If you could keep me honest here, it was Return of the Living Dead, and he opened the case and it had like grease in it from Screen Factory, and I was like, what? It was so weird. And
I think that was probably one of their printing the disc at
something. I mean, Dan showed it. Dan, I saw that video. That is insane. It's just you can see the grease marks, and I was like, "What the hell?" And that makes me. And then the loose disc. I mean, dude. I mean, Arrow Video is the only company, in my opinion, that has good customer service. Well, for me anyway, personally. Great movie prices for $9 a movie. You're getting, I think it's great.
That's a good deal. Are they
And
new? Are they pretty? What kind of titles have they been releasing for $9 on Arrow?
now here's the difference. You can buy Arrow in the UK. God, some of them are region free, or you have to get Arrow in the US. Arrow in the US is $17. Arrow UK, you're paying $9.
So it's better to buy. Let's say you buy nine. Let's say you buy 10 movies over in the UK. What type of can you work out? Can collectors work out deals for shipping? Like if they if you buy like one, you may like Hamilton Book is really good at this. If you buy at least if you buy at least what was it, two movies, I think it is, they charge you like $4 shipping or $5 shipping, like no matter how many titles you buy, the shipping's a flat rate. If you buy if you buy one movie, it's a $5 shipping, but if you buy 20, it's still $5 shipping.
No, Hamilton Books is good for that. No, Arrow is different. Like Arrow UK, you'll pay for shipping, but it almost still a little bit less than the US, because remember, in the US you still got to pay the shipping. I think $9 UK comes to like $10.18 US. I mean, if you do the math, which I did for both, I'm actually saving money, even with the shipping costs being a little bit higher. I'm actually saving money buying it from the UK. But of course, the region free and all that stuff. You got, but I mean, there's titles. From, like, I'm trying to see, like The Burning, The Beast Within, The Stuff, The Range, Zombie Flesh Eaters, Trapped Alive, Nightbreed. Like, they got some pretty good titles, man.
Yeah, I've seen all those titles. They'll get recycled though. It's almost like the boutique labels. They'll get the rights to a movie, say like Red Dawn, and they'll be able to, like Vinegar Syndrome will be able to control it for 6 months, and they can have it for 6 months, and after the 6 months, then it goes on to Synapse, and then for 6 months after that, it'll go to Screen Factory, and then and then they keep rotating it. But it's the same title over and over and over.
Well, these are overstock, I think. I mean, there's stuff on here I haven't seen from anywhere else, like Dead End Drive-In, Satan's Blades, Slugs. I mean, stuff like that. I've only seen Arrow have it. But when it comes to like Nightbreed, I know Screen Factory done it. When it comes to like other like Videodrome, Arrow is now putting out a brand new box set, which looks pretty cool. I won't double dip like that. Like sometimes the Screen Factory does it and Arrow does it. I kind of see who has the better special features. But yeah, I mean, look, it's worth to check it out. But if you do the math, it kind of works out. So
now, since have you has it been harder for you to secure the titles now, because you're rebuilding your collection? Has it been harder to find some of the movies that you had on your collection, or has it been easier to find?
Well, I still have most of my collection. It was a while ago is when I had to sell it all. Like I still have most of it. I just didn't put up videos. Like I have most of it. But I was gonna say, like, there's titles that are hard to find, and they're hard to find, and you do find them, you're gonna pay a pretty penny, which I won't do. I won't do it. But they're there. I mean, it all depends. Like it's the biggest thing, Patrick. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. And I'm not going to go out there and just buy something just to have it because it first came out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Now, do you find? I mean, because you have this problem like I did. Well, luckily now it seems like nobody at the library other than me is. It's sort of funny how it worked out. It's like I get to go in a little early. I had to pay for that. I have to. It's like $1 a week, and so I get to go in early, and I had resellers, but they've gotten used to me being there. Now they know I'm there every Tuesday with them, and they know that's what I'm there for. I'm just there for the movies, and I'm not there to resell. I'm there to collect, and they're there to resell books. Do you find how do good collectors deal with resellers? I'm for stores limiting the product, like a movie comes out at Walmart, and or a figure comes out at Walmart or what have you, and they want to sit there and say limit two
Yeah,
of that title or that figure. I'm for that.
I am
Um,
too. I am too, 100%, because you're going to get people out there that are going to go try to buy like 60 of them and then quadruple the price on eBay and make money off it. Um, I'm all up for people trying to make money, but when you're like really ripping off people that much, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, um, I do like the limit too. I know some companies do that. They do like the limit two, limit this. So I'm with you on that boat. I do like them having a limit on things, because if not, people are going to buy them up and then just resell them at a crazy price.
and yeah, it's just almost like pure greed.
Yeah.
It says here, Jamie's asking, how do you feel about upgrading items you already have? I have way too many versions of Friday the 13th. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I know that too. Like, I still only have my box set. I still have the only thing I have. I had a couple on DVD that I found that I had before I bought my Screen Factory set. I actually managed to hold. I decided to hold on to them. Normally, it's once I get to a Blu-ray. If it's an upgrade over a DVD, I will go ahead. I'll just do what everybody else does. I'll just upgrade and then I'll get rid of the DVD. But do you do that as well? As soon as you do that, do you do you sell the excess that you have, or do you end up keeping it?
It depends on which movie it is. Like Jamie said, like Friday the 13th. I mean, all I got of Friday the 13th is that box set that Screen Factory he put out. So I don't have anything really else. But if I have like 5 Roadhouse, first of all, I shouldn't have 5 of Roadhouse, but if I do, I'm selling for them, and I'll probably keep the best version of it. I don't upgrade a lot. I mean, I only been upgrading some of the Blu-rays to 4K because I have a 4K setup. That's the only reason. Besides that, I mean, why would you buy a 4K if you don't really have a 4K setup? It doesn't really make sense, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't have a 4K setup. I'm just one of those guys. I can still watch a DVD and still see it. I mean, I'm not a stickler for oh my gosh, right now that I can see, it's like watching a 4K is like seeing heaven.
Yeah,
I can still put on a DVD and still get the same reaction.
yep.
Maybe because my eyes are so shitty, I don't know. Um, but I definitely, if I do get a chance to upgrade, I definitely do.
Let me let me tell you a stat that I actually heard earlier. Hey, today I heard for every Blu-ray and 4K collector, there are 3 more DVD collectors. Meaning DVD, there's 3, like there's like it's a ratio of 3 more people buying DVDs than buying 4Ks and Blu-rays. That's why they're still making DVDs, is because people are buying them more. They make triple the money. And I saw this stat and I couldn't believe it, triple the money that Blu-rays and 4K make. Still.
Yeah, yeah, because they always sell it for a little. Well, until I have not been to a Target or Walmart in a very long time. I think the last time I went to a Walmart, I went to look for 2 movies. I went to look for Cyrano, and I went to look for a movie called The Ledge. And both of the Walmart that I went to, they were both out. Um, Jamie's mentioning, I only keep older versions of stuff that I have a special attraction to. If they're snap cases or have a different cover, I'll keep them even if I upgrade to blue. Yeah, yeah, the Warner Brothers, the snapper cases. Yeah, it's cool when you run across them too.
Yeah.
I still run across a lot of snapper cases. I was like, I actually have quite a few of those. Um, and a lot of them are out there and they're actually in really good shape. I've seen that. I'm like, because you would think there'd be, that's one of the early versions of a film being released, but they have the snapper case. So that's a decades old release,
Mhm.
uh, and people still have them, a lot of them.
I mean,
Um,
there's like, there's some sets out there I wish they would change. Like there's a set, like I'm a big Godzilla fan, and it's a shame. They have the complete Blu-ray set, and they have it. What's it called? They have like the. I'm not talking about the newer ones or the older ones. They have it in Criterion has it, but in a big, like, just like an awkward big case, which. And again, it's $100 something. And I'm like, Jesus, I mean, for 1940s or whatever, hey, Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I just can't buy
No.
that. Even during the Criterion sale, it's like $100 plus, and I just can't do it. And I'm a Bruce Lee fan too. And I like the set they put out. I just can't spend the $60, $70 on it. I just can't do it.
No, I can't do that either. Especially the Godzilla one where they put out. They didn't even had all the movies. They only had up to a certain point. The Gamera set on Arrow was probably a better deal because I think they included everything in Gamera up like to the last 2 or 3 releases.
Yeah, no, that was a really cool set. That's why I like Arrow. Arrow does some really good stuff, man. They really do some really awesome stuff. So, I mean, that's why I kind of lean towards them. And like, I'm not sure if you heard the news, but it's pretty much all over the internet. Everybody's waiting for the Friday the 13th, not Friday the 13th, but the Nightmare on Elm Street collection, and it's not coming. Some girl on TikTok or Instagram had an Instagram live with the owners of Scream Factory, and they were saying how they've been trying to get the rights for that thing for years and they can't get it. Now, there's a couple reasons why they possibly can't get it. Like, first of all, look, we all deserve a Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray 4K collection. 4K would be fantastic. Like, we definitely deserve it. It needs that treatment. Couple reasons could be they just don't want the rights. I mean, don't want to give the rights, or some other label is working to get the rights.
Wow, can you see the only thing I could think of competing with a label like that would be Criterion.
I see Arrow stealing it from Scream Factory. I could see Arrow getting that and making that. If they make that awesome, wow. I mean, because that would actually compete with the Halloween box that Scream Factory he put out. But I can see Arrow doing it. I mean, to be honest, who would really make a splash by getting it? Vinegar Syndrome. If they were to get that, they make a splash, but you're going to pay some big bucks for it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, obviously you're paying $40 for Roadhouse. I think we're going to have, I think people are going to watch this replay, and I think that we should tell them now that, go back to the replay, start it again. And then every time we mention Roadhouse, have a drink.
Oh my God, you'll be drunk in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, so, I heard that the reason why they pulled back on it was, you're right. I think they're going to do another set. There's rumblings too of another Nightmare on Elm Street coming up.
Yeah. So what happens is when Scream Factory goes in, they ask them, "Hey, can we get the rights?" And they said it's still an active franchise. I don't know how it's fucking active when they haven't put out a movie in 12 years.
Yeah.
So
12 years.
There's a couple things. One, they say it's active. I'm thinking, and in my opinion, I have a feeling there's another label trying to get the rights, and they're probably maybe close. And I think they said, "Hey, look, you can't have the rights Scream Factory. You can't have it." They didn't tell them why, but I have a feeling, and it'd be fantastic if Arrow had it. Oh man, the treatment it would get would be fantastic. Vinegar Syndrome, I would love to see them get it, but I don't want to pay the $200 it'll probably be. I'll tell you right now.
You know what I wish one of these labels would do, since they're all about cleaning up and all that? Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, Doomsday, what's up, man?
He must have heard me say make a drinking game out of this. Out of saying Roadhouse, because we made a drinking game. How many times we could get him and Steven from House of Horrors? They say Spookala. That we got them toasted one night. But I think he went to Scarefest. Either he went to Scarefest or he's back from Scarefest.
Hey, you heard what happened to Gary Busey, right, at Monster Mania here in New Jersey?
Yeah, we were talking about that on a stream not that long ago, just last week I think it was.
Mhm.
Um, how he should not be out by himself.
Well,
Uh,
my one of my sister's friends, her friend was the girl he was harassing,
he,
because
he,
he was harassing her and a whole bunch of things happened. But they were saying that he looked like out of control. They didn't know if he was either intoxicated or something.
oh,
But
he was well. Think about it. Think he's got to take. God, man, I don't know what it is, but I got dry skin. It's winter time, so it's like a the air. It's like you know how people have allergies in the spring.
yep,
I'm thinking I'm having the same things here in the wintertime. Um,
yeah,
Gary Busey, he has that closed brain injury,
yeah,
and he's getting older, so his abilities are declining. It's to the point where he cannot do shows like that without a handler.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that means him not drinking. It's not good. We don't know the combination of what he's taking, what he's drinking, with the combination of the medications he's taking, because
Yep.
he's taking a shitload of medications.
Oh, sure, sure. I mean,
So
absolutely.
I'm not making excuses for it, but it's like, you know what, too, honestly, in Gary Busey's case, I think 50% of that shit is on the promoter.
Oh
It's like,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
it's on the promoter.
Let me tell you,
You
when I
because this.
went again,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, when I went to Monster Mania, uh, he wasn't there that time, but I was there to meet Robert England and Tony Todd was there. And let me tell you, of every celebrity I've ever met, Tony Todd's probably the nicest guy I've ever fucking met. He is. We went down to the bar downstairs. We stayed in the same hotel. We downstairs to the bar around 11. Robert England was at the bar. I'm guessing with his wife having a drink. I remember the drink because he said it, vodka tonic. And he was sitting with his wife. Everyone was not bothering him, which is fantastic. You know, they want to get bothered.
Yeah, that's great.
There's Tony Todd sitting at a table, maybe half a light on, with three women sitting at the table with him. And I went over there and I said, "Hey, I just like to say I love your work. You know, fantastic." And he says, "Hey, I appreciate it." About 20 minutes later, he came outside to the front where we were hanging out, and he just started talking to us randomly, just for like an hour. It was, I mean, and we was just talking about life and one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Gotta
Yeah,
say, he was awesome.
I would love to meet someone like Tony Todd.
Oh, cool guy, man. Nicest guy that I ever met. Nicest guy. Robert England, nicest guy. I met uh what's what's the name from The Walking Dead? Oh my god. I'm losing train of thought. But
Jeffrey D. Morgan.
no, Norman Reedus. I met him. He was okay, man. He was all right. I mean, he saw my wife because my wife wanted to take a picture, and he goes to my wife. He goes, "Oh, you're pretty." I'm like, "Hands off, pal." And he was laughing, but he was he was nice. There was one dude, and well, I'm not gonna name names, but there was one dude that was just absolutely loaded, and just very rude to everybody. And he's in a lot of horror movies. This guy, and I won't say his name, but it was just a terrible experience. But like, we bring up those conventions, man. I love those conventions. Monster Mania is the main one I go to. It's about an hour away from my house, so it kind of worked out. But I missed this one, unfortunately, with Gary Busey there. So
Yeah, John's mentioning that he's going to Scarefest in Kentucky, and
that's cool.
Jamie's going there too. So
Oh, nice.
I'm sure we'll be seeing a picture of Jamie with Doomsday, because Doomsday is going to have a table.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. Yeah,
Jamie can find his table and then get a picture.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, no, I mean, those events are cool. Those events can get really expensive.
uh,
Doomsday,
uh,
I'll talk to you offline about that.
uh, Doomsday, I think Doomsday is right. Stephen from House of Horrors got a story to tell about that guy. I'm sure. Did Stephen tell you his story, John, about dealing with him? Oh my God, it's so funny. It's a funny story. Oh my gosh. Look at that. See. See. John's got his finger now. Now he's become a conventioneer. See, now he's good. Now you're gonna get good stories now, John. Uh, uh oh yeah. Yeah. That's a corker of a story. I'll tell you that off the camera too, Michael. But that's a corker of a story too. Um, yeah.
Have you,
I don't
have
know
you,
what that is. And let's talk a little bit about when you go hunting. Is it pretty much safe to say that the last place you want to buy a movie is at a convention because the prices are really marked up there more than anywhere else?
I don't buy any movies at conventions. I don't buy any. I mean, I'll buy figures and stuff like that. Sometimes you could smash a good deal, or like I bought I bought a his and hers Texas Chainsaw Massacre wine glass for me and my wife. But stuff like that you can find. But movies wise, everything just seems like it's either high price or. But yeah, I mean, for me, conventions are not a spot where you want to buy a movie. For me, anyway.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I've been to a few conventions, and it always seems the prices are they're just marked so much higher.
Yeah,
Even if it's like we're talking about Roadhouse being $40 through Vinegar Syndrome, and you have a feeling that that would be like $55 at a convention.
of course, they want to make the profit too. They want to make a little bit more off it, which is totally understandable. It's just, I mean, like my buddy is coming here Halloween weekend, right? This guy, I known him since I was 6. He was my best man at my wedding. He's my best friend. I mean, like I said, I known him for what, 30, holy shit, 37 years. So he's a big horror guy. So I'll be doing a live stream with him eventually. Guy, he knows horror movies, man. You want horror, he'll tell you. He had, and I'll let him tell a lot of the story. He had the best VHS horror collection I have ever seen. And it was to the point where we used to go to school. We used to walk together to school with some other friends, and I would walk in his house, and his living room and kitchen and everything would have racks of VHS horror movies everywhere. And I always wanted to buy his collection off him when he moved, and believe it or not, he threw them out, which got me sick to my stomach. Yep. He I know he kept a few. And what happened was he kept some in his garage. Someone came and robbed his garage of tools and took bags of movies. He put them in garbage bags, dude. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they took a lot of it, but he did throw a lot out. But there were some awesome titles, man. I'll never forget it.
It's weird because like over at the library, where my library's at, I was mentioning about bag sales. So it used to be that you could go you go to a bag sale, and and the shelves would just get pounded. They get pounded.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, it'd take like 2 weeks after that before they could get product on inventory,
Yep.
through donations or whatnot, before you actually saw some, because most of the time, the shelves were just empty. Now, when you go to the bike sale, they don't move at all. They don't move at all.
There's dust collecting on them.
Yeah. Well, this one guy came in there and he bought the entire back stock. I mean, when we walked in there and saw that all the movies were completely empty, we thought that they had actually donated them. We thought they had donated them to the Salvation Army. They just passed them along. It's like, this has been here for months. People aren't buying them. Get rid of them. So we get new product in. So whoever came in and bought them, because now they sell they sell their movies for 25 cents, and they sell series for $1. And so they clean them all out, and now it's and CDs too. That included the CDs. Now everybody's having a hard time. They're having a hard time replacing the movies. But good Lord, they're not having trouble getting the CDs back in stock. I wonder if people are I'm mentioning this because my friend John from Platex 2, he's another hunter like we are. He said he bought a stack of CDs, just a huge stack, like 200 of them. and he went through and he found like 9 or 10 that he really wanted for his collection. So now he has 190 CDs. And you think, okay, well, yeah, well, you just go right on over to Disc Replay and sell them in, or pawn shop or whatever. People are not accepting it anymore. He
No.
said he said he had to get rid of them. He threw them out.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it sucks. That sucks. I mean, that's the same thing with VHS. And I'll still collect VHS. I don't have a VHS player, but I'll still collect. Let's be honest. For me, the artwork back in the 80s on the VHSs was fantastic. And that's what they did to make you rent that movie. When you went to a Blockbuster, you went to one of those to rent, they had to make sure the art was fantastic on that case so you would rent it. The movie could be absolute shit, but it was the artwork that got you. And to this day, the artwork still gets me. It really does.
Oh yeah. Now, now that's something you find. Do you find yourself blind buying as much as you used to? I don't.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. For instance, and I'm glad you brought this up because here's a movie that I blind bought for the slipcover, and I've never seen this movie, but I got it, and that's the Incredible Melting Man. Never seen this.
Great movie.
And the artwork got me. Artwork got me, of course. And then, of course, and here's the best part. It's in 4K, which I was like, okay, wow. Of course, Vinegar Syndrome. I don't remember what I even paid for this. I know it was
$40.
Nah. But the artwork on this it's cool. So it was a blind buy. I'm going to check it out this weekend alongside with Room 237. We'll see how that goes. But I still blind buy, not as much, but I still do it.
How much did the ISC movie cost you?
Believe it or not, $13.
That's really good.
Brand new.
Yep. IFC used to be a lot cheaper on eBay. They used to be a lot cheaper. I got to tell you, those prices have gone up. The demand for the IFCs are there. They're starting to command prices now. Before, you could go in there and get a lot of good deals there. But lately, I've noticed that. The prices have started to snake upwards.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people. Yeah.
I saw some of the titles, because I was going through some of the titles and nothing really caught my eye. I'll be honest. And then I saw Room 237. I found some information on it. I was like, wow, IFC makes that. I said, I got to get this in before I go on Patrick's live.
You do know that if you see an IFC movie and you're wondering if it's any good or not, you can sit there and say, well, what do you think about this movie? And I could tell you.
Yeah, I was good. This was a movie I wanted for a while. This documentary I wanted for a while. I just didn't pull the trigger, or I bought something else, but definitely looking forward to checking this out. So I'm pretty excited about it. There's some cool titles. There's a lot. You know what? I've been noticing a lot of labels, new labels are coming out, like Visual Vengeance. I see a couple more labels. That makes for good and bad. That makes for good. Maybe it's cheaper, maybe better artwork, but then it's like, okay, you're going to get another copy of the same movie you probably have like 16 copies of.
Hopefully not. Hopefully these new companies can come out and they can put out new titles, even if it's older titles, but at least it's something new.
Visual Vengeance, man.
You don't want to see the same, like Visual Vengeance.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to show you because I saw this and I thought it was fantastic. So I picked up a couple titles, right? And here's some of the ones I've never seen before. Moonchild, never seen this before, never heard of it, right? Pat, here's it going. Blood of the Chupacabras. Here's one. Slaughter Day. That artwork looks amazing. Never heard of it before. And this one was weird. L.A. AIDS Jabber. What? Oh my God. But Patrick, here's the worst part about that. They actually sent you hold on. Wait till you see this, guys. Wait till you see this. They actually sent you, with the LA AIDS Jabber, a hypodermic pen. This is a pen.
Oh, fuck.
I said, are you kidding me?
Well, that mean I have hope. I have high hope. Well, did they send you a poster?
I don't. I think they, if I'm not mistaken, they come with posters in there.
Okay, because I had talked to Rob like over a year ago about Wild Eye putting out putting out posters. And at last I heard that they were supposed to be doing that. They're supposed to be because Wild Eye puts out some of the greatest posters. The movies may not be up to snuff, but the posters are lights out. And I really wanted to get a copy of Ouija Shark for my room. I really like to, and then they put out the Ouija Shark 2 poster, and that's even better than the first one. And I'm just like, yeah, I gotta get, I want a poster of that if I could get it.
Yeah, my buddy asked me for a title, and I'll put this out there to you in the chat because he asked me for this title, and I've never heard of this before. Here it is. He asked me, he goes, "Hey, have you ever heard of a movie called Screams of a Winter Night?" And I know, and I looked at it, and I can't find anything on this. And the only thing I found on this was I think Code Red put this out a while ago. And he wants this movie so bad. Screams of a Winter Night.
Yeah.
Let's see if I have a picture of it. Yeah, here it is. Let's see if I can show you guys.
Let's see. Yeah. No, I haven't heard of that one.
He says he actually loved this movie. He says he even wants the poster. I said, really? Interesting. Okay. But yeah, I mean, visual vengeance to send a hypodermic pen.
Yeah, that's crazy. Rob will he will surprise you once in a while. He'll come up with something very creative. I hear the visual vengeance is doing very well for them.
They are, and look, here's the part that's funny, which I like. It says on it, LAA's hypodermic, but then if you read the red, it might be really hard to see. It says virus not included.
Good Lord.
Which I thought was fantastic.
Ugh. Hey Erie, our big YouTubers in the house now. Erie Frog, everybody.
Hey Erie.
Yeah, he's what we call frog famous, and yeah, he's got all the celebs on his channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you been following? Kind of going to make a left turn here because I'm not sure we're running short on time. But have you been watching the playoffs for baseball? Just curious. I wanted to throw that out there to you.
I do. I have been. And in fact, our good friend Sean Blue Digi is a Phillies fan.
Really? Oh, that's right. Oh. That's right. I think I saw a video or something. He went to a Phillies game with another Blu-ray collector, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's a big Philly fan. He's a big Phillies fan. So right now he is in his glory. Though they did drop the game yesterday to Atlanta 3-0, but they got the split. So
yeah, I'll tell you, Philly's a dangerous team. Philly's a very dangerous team. They have a really good lineup, and with Wheeler and Nola. I think it is. And no, the pitcher. I mean, they're not bad. The team that scares me right now that's super hot is Houston. They're absolutely on fire. And,
yeah, they must got their cheating equipment back up and running. I'm sure they come with a new way of cheating. Yeah, I guess they got Seattle earlier today. The Yankees got rained out. So
yeah, I was actually supposed to go to that game. Me and my brother-in-law. But I mean, not this game. The one of the Yankee games we're going to. Hopefully, the tickets were so expensive, but he got them through his job. So I said, "Yeah, I mean, I'll go."
Of course, you do want to see the best team. You do want to see the best team of baseball play, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, knowing the fan that knowing that who I like, it's an embarrassment. You win 100 games and you get knocked down the wild card, and you only by the way, you get one hit in the third game, which is an absolute embarrassment. So,
well, me and my brother were talking about that, and we just felt like it really. You're right. The Mets got shafted. I mean, in a sense. I mean, they did have a 9-game lead on Atlanta at one time, so you can't necessarily sit there and say, oh, because they did have their chance to close the door on them, but they just didn't. And but
down the stretch, they lose series against Washington and Chicago. I mean, come on, I mean, that's gonna. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's it for that. Here come the Braves.
Yeah, But I still think that the Braves and the Mets should have had a 1-game playoff.
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah, it would have been cool. It would have been cool to see.
I mean, it's much better than because when you sit there and go like, well, okay, if you look at the head-to-head divisions, division series, okay, let's say the Braves were up 10-9, right?
Yep.
Is that really what you're going to base it on? They played 19 times, they're even. If they
Yeah.
played 20, it'd be 10-10. If they played 18, it'd be 9-9. That's not a really. It's not. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
like just because they're just I just look at it this way. If the let's say the Braves were so let's say the Braves won 10-9. Well, the Mets have beat somebody else with a good team that's better than the Braves, but they beat them more head to head, like the Dodgers.
Yep.
The Mets actually would have they matched up well against the Dodgers.
They did. I'll tell you, San Diego got a sneaky good team. They got a lot of hitters. That's a team that could be sneaky and get in there. And that's even without a Tatis Jr., by the way, that got nailed for steroids. So, I mean, they got a good team. I mean, I think the series, Houston is just above everyone. The
Yeah.
Yankees have Cole and Cortez, but behind him pitching, I'm not sure, but they got tons of hitting. They just got hitter after hitter after hitter.
Yeah,
So,
but
hey, we'll
but
see.
you know what? I'll tell you one thing. I'll be more exciting. I'll be more exciting next year for baseball because they finally got rid of that fucking shift.
Yep,
Oh, I'm
shift's
so
gone.
happy with that. Oh, I'm so happy.
The shift is gone. ER. Oh, dude, I think that's hey, my buddy. What's up, ER? What's going on, man? But yeah, I mean, the playoffs are, and then and then I'll switch over real quick to the NFL. And then you got tonight's freaking game of the week, Washington and Chicago.
Is that the football? Oh, gee. Well, you know
That
what though? I can't talk too loud because being a Steelers fan and all that, the Steelers absolutely reek. And
Yeah, but they got the future. They got the future there. Pickett, which I like him a lot. I actually do.
I honestly, see, to me, a fan is a fan is when they can turn around and look at their own team and call out bullshit. Like I was saying that all year, I was saying that all summer long, all season long, when the Yankees got Trubisky, everybody's sitting there going, "Oh my God!" They acted like he was the second coming of Terry Bradshaw. And it's like that dude hasn't held a job, hasn't had he has not done anything wherever he's gone to,
No.
Chicago or wherever he just never has worked out, and he didn't even last 4 games with the Steelers. But here's all the Steelers fans when they signed him. They're all all Steelers slappies. Oh yeah, that's my quarterback. Yeah, it's like you know what? I don't want him. You know what? Here's what I want. I want Mason Rudolph to start the season. I want him to have a year. I want Pickett I want his ass on the bench. I want his ass on the bench. I don't want him getting out there and getting beat up like Joe Burrow did his first year.
Oh, you got
I
beat.
don't want that. We don't have an O line.
No.
And Najee Harris has actually turned out to be rather pedestrian. I think, he looks like a running back. He smells like a running back, but he ain't no running back. He's more like a Trent Richardson, you know?
Remember Trent? Yeah. I don't know if it's him being partially hurt or the O line or whatever, but averaging 3.1 yards a carry, I ain't gonna do it for you. So,
If
yeah.
you're hurt, I don't know what it is with players too, because baseball players do this too. But it's like, okay, if you're hurt, you're hurt. You tell them, and you say, hey, I'm having trouble planning. I'm having trouble pushing off. With going out there and playing hurt. You're not like showing, well, I'm a warrior. No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot because you're not doing anybody any good. You're hurt. Every time you get out there, it can worsen. And then
Yep.
you're out there longer than if you just sit there and say, yeah, so I have something wrong with my foot. Okay, you know what? We're gonna put you on. We're gonna put you on the disabled list for till you get fixed, and then you can come back. But that has to be it, because if this is all we're getting from Harris, he's a bust. He's a straight out bust.
Hey, I'm a Dallas fan. Hey, we're playing good with our second stream, man. I'll take it. So
Yeah,
that's
how
all
about
right.
Cooper Rush? Holy, that guy finally blossomed.
Guy, I tell you, the guy, he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but he's accurate and he makes just the right decisions. Patrick, hold on one second. Hold on.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in tonight.
Patrick, I need to probably go and help my wife with the kids.
Yeah, no problem. Our time was just up anyway. But thank you so much, Michael, for coming in.
Appreciate it.
I'll be dropping your links in here. I'll get all your socials too. I don't think
Cool.
you're on Instagram anymore, are you?
I am Heroic Waffles, man. I'm on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
TikTok
right.
and everything. All Heroic Waffles. Just put it all one word, man. You'll find me.
All one word. I'll put all that down in the description box, and I'll shoot it on over to you, and then
Cool.
you can share it with all your friends.
Awesome.
I want to. No, it's okay. Thank God. That's why we have a replay. And it's funny you're saying that, brother, because I almost was late. All right, so real quick, next week I'll let you guys know what's going on the channel. Real quick. So
Adios, guys.
thanks again for coming out, Michael.
Got it. Thanks.
So next Sunday on the 16th, we are talking John Wick 3, Parabellum. That comes out. I'll be joined by Anthony from Fever Dreamland Theater, and I am Betty J. Gathers. Betty, me, and Anthony will be talking about John Wick 3, Parabellum on the 16th on the Midnight Society. On the 18th, next Tuesday, we have Ken and Ashley Sledge from Sledgehammer Horror. They'll be here at 8 o'clock. On Wednesday, we have film director, actor, screenwriter Michael Lysak, and we'll be talking about his movie, The Best Laid Plans. That's a very funny comedy that's currently playing on Tubi. You can catch that on Tubi. And then on the next Thursday, a week from tonight, we have the lovely Constance Steele will be here. She is a vocalist, a recording artist, a published poet, and an actress. She can do everything and all. She's all around performer, and she'll be here with us on Thursday, the 20th. And then the last week of October, we have 3 shows. We have the 24th on a Monday. We have Ted Morgan. He's a conservative Christian a novelist. He's written a new book called The Restorer, and he'll be here on the 24th at 8 o'clock. And then on the 25th, we have professional photographer Justin Robert Sanders will be here at 8 p.m. And then on the 27th, we will be doing I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I don't know. I might draw a name in a hat and see who wants to come up. Maybe we'll do a roundtable. It definitely is. Heroic Waffles has the best channel name. You're not kidding. His channel name is awesome. I love it. That cracks me up when I see it. So that's what's going on here on the channel. We're working hard on things in November. I should be able to tell you a little bit about what's going on in November starting next week. But for right now, things are a little bit fluid, so I can't tell you that. I will tell you that we will have Brendan Slagle on the show next month, and he is a very fine film director, and his new movie will be coming out in November, and that is Battle for Saipan. He directed that for Damon Philbin, and that's going to be coming out here in November. All right, boys and girls. If at 10 o'clock, you can head on over to Hobbs Horse Channel. They have the Midnight Hour will be going on tonight, and I think Tuber Chat is on at 10 o'clock as well, and he's doing his show at 10 o'clock. So there are some other live streams that are upcoming tonight in case you're in the mood. And as for me and the Cheetah, well, we want to thank you guys for coming out and supporting the show tonight, and we will see you shortly. Yeah, hopefully Sunday here on this channel for John Wick 3 Parabellum. Thanks for coming out, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.